Namo Loe Savayantanam, Namo Loe Savayantanam, Namo Loe Savayiriyam, Namo Loe Savajayam, Namo Loe Savatiralvati Savanam, Omkaramindu Sanyutam Nityam Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Okshadam Jai Omkarai Namo Namo, Mangalam Bhagavanayo Mangalam Bhutamuni, Mangalam Kunkundari Ujendra Musa Mangalam Namasamajisara. Anubhutya Jathasti Tiksvahai Bhavaya Sarvaha Vibhava Niyusanjata.
Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Arhantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Ayaryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Ojayanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Yeso Panchanamukkaro Savva Pavapanasano Manglalancha Savvasing Padamam Havai Mangalam. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Jayanti Yoginam Kamadam Mokshadam Cheva Omkaraya Namo Namah Namah Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chitsavavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimira Andanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurmuritam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavantavarto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavantavarto Jinana Samo Saranasau Jayavantavarto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavantavarto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangaryotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Devyano Jina Kunda Dvani Apya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano True Achalane Anupamagati Pamel Sarve Siddhane Vandi Kaho Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Ari Hum Ekasuddha Sada Arupi Gnana Darasanamaya Kare Kai Anyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Nati Ari Jamanetrate Majagnana Natikarakanathi Vedakare Jani Jakarmo Dayirajara Bandate Majamokshani Om Namah Siddhevi Om Namah Siddhevi Om Sri Siddhatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. Share screen. Share screen. Okay, we are at this, we will start from this 21st slide, which is the example of fire and a wood, and then we go to the principle on it. First it says, this is a stanza number 6, which is the heart of the Samaysar. I know we are taking a much longer time. We keep on repeating lots and lots of things again and again, just to make sure that our principle becomes clear in our understanding. Because once this principle is clear, once the 6th stanza is really set well in our mind, it clears lots and lots of doubts. And thereafter, when Samaysar progresses further, thereafter we have nothing but we will be breezing through the whole thing. So here, in this example, author is giving example of fire and wood, that what happens? The fire is known to have property of combustion. Fire has a property to burn a substance. So that's called property of combustion. Now, let me put this thing down. Now, it takes the shape of the substance that can be burned. Means fire is taking shape. If it is burning this one, it will take that shape. If it is burning this one, it's going to take that shape. If it is burning this cube, it's going to take the shape of the cube. So it takes the shape of the substance that is getting burned. Then when the fire burns wood or dung cake, then it takes the shape of that substance. Whatever substance is getting burned, fire takes that shape. If the house is getting burned, then fire takes the shape of the house. If the car is getting burned, fire takes the shape of the car. So whatever shape of the substance, fire takes that shape. Now, what it says, but the shape of this fire did not occur just because it was burning wood or dung cake. Just because fire was burning the house, just because fire was burning the car, and it took that shape, it's not necessarily that that house or the car end up giving shape to that fire. That wood or dung cake end up giving shape to the fire, because it says this shape of the fire is by fire itself. Sure, there is associated thing present. House is present, which is getting burned. Car is present, which is getting burned. This cube, which is getting burned, or this phone that is getting burned. All those objects are present, and fire takes shape accordingly. This is the picture that we have it. That when there is a wood, then fire is taking shape of the wood. There is a coal, then fire is taking shape of the coal. So these are the things occur associated with the coal or the wood or the car or the house or the dung cake, but all those things, shape of the fire occurs because of fire itself. One may say this is too detailed to go into it. This is really too much detail. Well, if I understand this example, I will not be able to understand the principle behind that. So let's try to see what it says. So example of fire and wood, what happens? Fire does not have dependency on the object that it is burning. Fire is burning house or fire is burning car, but fire does not has dependency. Just because house was there, just because wood was there, just because car was there. No, fire has its own shape while burning wood or dung cake or house or car or whatever that object is. So fire takes its own shape. Now, this fire does not have impurity or dependency of taking shape of the substance that is burning. See, this is the very important example and important take-home message over here, that fire appears to be just like the shape of the house or shape of a car or shape of a wood, but that shape of the fire occurred because of fire itself and not because house is present, wood is present, car is present. So whatever shape is seen, that is by fire itself. Once this example is done, then author is going to go, Amrit Chandracharya will go and give us the real, the example will be illustrated into the sword. So fire has independently taken its own shape. This is the take-home message from this slide, from these 4 bullets, that fire, whatever object is getting burned, fire takes the shape, but that shape is because of fire alone and not because of the substance getting burned. That is the most important principle we have to understand over here. Now, principle to be learned is there is an object, knowable object present in the universe, which is called Gnay, knowable object. Now, money, house, person, my body, my clothes, my family, my rag and dvesh, my attachment and aversion, all those things are knowable objects. They can be known. So, money, house, person, etc. are called knowable object, means they are called gnay. Now, the knowledge mode knows the object. Knowledge mode is over here, object is over here. Knowledge mode ends up knowing the object. They both have a separate identity. Knowledge mode occurs in the soul alone, and object is material object which is present separately. Same shape is created in the knowledge mode, means it's called gnayakar. Let's take that example of that mirror. Here is a mirror and here is a phone. So mirror will exactly reflect whatever the phone is as an object present over here. If there's a fire present, the mirror will show the fire. If there is snow present, mirror will say snow. If there is a house present, mirror will show house. So on and so forth. So same shape is created in the knowledge mode as the knowable object. Knowable object is away from the soul. The knowing mode is present in the soul. The two entirely different entities are there. Knowable object and knowing mode, knowledge mode. Knowable object, knowing mode. Those are two distinct entities. Now we have to find it out. Is this knowing of knowledge mode occurred because of this object being present? That's what we have to find it out. And it says no. Object or knowledge mode take the same shape as the knowable object. In the mirror, you will see the exact shape of an object present in front. If it is fire, it will show fire. If it is snow, it will show snow. If it is a house, it will show house. If it is car, it will show car. Whatever object are present, exact same thing mirror will illuminate. Same way, knowledge mode is in the form of a mirror. So, object could be anything. The mirror by itself creates the shape of same as an object. So, the shape of the knowledge mode occurred independently. Sure, object is present as an instrumental cause. We'll come back to that point. Principle to be learned here. The gnayakar. Gnayakar means the shape created in the knowledge mode. Shape created in the knowledge mode is due to the object present, because here is an object and we just say exact same thing is present, and that's why, remember, we are changing track right now. Object is present, same thing is seen over here. Because object is present, same thing is seen over here. That's why this shape is called gnayakar. Shape is called the knowledge mode is due to the object being present. That is the conventional wisdom says that. Conventional wisdom says, what if there is a phone over here, the mirror will not show me car. If there's a pen over here, mirror is not going to show me the aeroplane. Whatever object is present, same thing is reflected, and that's why this reflection occurring in the knowledge mode is called gnayakar, because we give importance to the object. the shape of the object in the mirror because of the object being present. So we give importance to the object in this sentence. In this slide, in this bullet, it is giving importance to the object. Because object is present, there is a shape created. So there's a conventional wisdom, but then Amrit Chandra Shayadev comes and says, wait a second, hold it, don't go that fast. Even though the same shape is created in the knowledge mode, there's a pen over here, exact same shape is created in the knowledge mode, but that creation is by knowledge mode itself. And this thing is simply present as an instrumental cause. Remember, instrumental cause is important. As long as it is present in a given act, that is only its responsibility. What's the act getting done over here? Knowledge mode ends up knowing. That's the act. Knowledge mode ends up knowing. That's an act. And when that act is getting done, then favorable thing present, it's been accused of having instrumental cause. When an act is getting done in the knowledge mode, in the soul, then the object present is simply called instrumental cause. So what happens? What's the definition of instrumental cause? Instrumental cause means whenever an act is getting done in a given substance, the associated favorable things presence is known as instrumental cause, but this instrumental cause does not interfere in the working of the principal cause. We have to go slowly again, because this is extremely very, very important principle to get to learn. Action occurs in me as a soul, having knowledge attribute, and I have a knowledge mode. So action is occurring in the knowledge mode. So that is called principal cause. When the action is occurring in the knowledge mode, then the favorable things presence is known as instrumental cause. Instrumental cause is way outside. Here is a principal cause. Principal cause is occurring in the soul, and the object is material object standing outside. So simply it is present. Let's take the example of principal cause in instrumental cause. Fish wants to swim. Fish wants to swim. So fish wants to swim. So water's presence is known as instrumental cause. Fish has its own capacity to swim, and water makes the vehicle available. Water provides the vehicle, and the fish swims by its own capacity. Water is simply present. Of course, water's presence is important, but water cannot do anything to the fish. By fish being present, water's temperature does not go up, water's temperature does not go down, water's volume does not go up, water's volume does not go down. It is simply water is present in the reaction of fish to swim. If we say that no, water is very important for fish to swim. Okay? Water is very important for fish to swim. Then what happens when I put the rocks inside? Rock sinks. Fish is swimming. How come? Rock's own property is to sink when the water is present. Fish's own capacity to swim when water is present as a vehicle. So water is simply vehicle, its presence is there. But besides presence, it has not done anything else. Same way here, object is present. Object's presence is there. But action occurred in the knowledge mode. So knowledge mode becomes principal cause and object becomes instrumental cause. Okay, so that point is very important that we understood. Now, what it says, knowledge mode does not have impurity or dependency on the object being present. Object is present here and knowledge mode is over here. Knowledge mode created shape by its own capacity, and the knowledge, the object is present outside. Object did not enter in the knowledge mode. Object did not enter into the mirror. Object and mirror illumination into the mirror are two different things. In the mirror, whatever illumination is there, that is mirror's own capacity. Object has its own capacity. They're two different animals. That's what we keep in mind. So knowledge mode does not have dependence, impurity or dependence on the object being present. And then it says, the shape created in the knowledge mode is independent in nature. The shape created in the knowledge mode is independent in nature. First, let's take this definition of gnayakar. Gnayakar word came two times. Gnayakar means characteristic knowledge of an object. Gnayakar means characteristics knowledge of an object. This object is there. Its characteristics knowledge occurring because of an object. That's called gnayakar. Here we give importance to the yes, go ahead.
The bottom left box.
Yes.
Is that Samaysar Gatha 3?
This shape of gnayakar created in knowledge mode is independent. No. Gatha 3 always says that all the objects in the universe are independent and they are beautiful of their own. That's
I remember you said that they're self-contained and independent.
Yeah, self-contained, independent. So the object is independent and the shape occurring in the knowledge mode is also independent. They both are independent. They don't have any dependency on each other except for principal cause, auxiliary cause relationship. Principal cause is here, auxiliary is over here, and they have relationship, that's all. But this is independent, this is independent. Object is independent, knowledge mode is independent. Does it make sense?
It makes sense, but it seems like you just restated Gatha 3 to me.
No, I don't think
Gatha 3, again, let's read Gatha 3 quickly. I had the things over here. Gatha 3 says, एकत्व निश्चय गत समय सर्वत्र सुंदर लोकमा तेथी बने विखवादिनी बंधन कथा एकत्वमा. Means any object, let's presume that this is one simple matter particle, matter atomic particle. Of course, there are infinite atomic particles, but let's presume that this is only one atomic particle. Me as a soul is independent. Now, as long as I consider soul as an independent entity, as long as I consider matter particles, that atomic particle as independent entity, then they are beautiful. But when they start reacting to each other, what am I saying over here? Well, I end up knowing because pain was present, object was present. So now I took dependency on this pain, then it is an impurity is there. If I understand that soul has made the knowledge mode by itself. Remember, where is the knowledge mode coming from? It is coming from knowledge attribute. And where is knowledge attribute coming from? It is coming from all-knowing soul substance. So all-knowing soul substance having the attribute of knowledge, and this knowledge attribute keeps on transforming every samay, every moment. This transformation is dependent on the soul as a all-knower soul substance. So the origin of this mode is a soul substance. Origin of the mode is not in this object. But here I am, if by conventional wisdom I say, just because pen was present, I end up knowing. That's what impurity means. So this third bullet says, knowledge but does not have impurity or dependence in the object being present. Knowledge mode's origin is in the all-knower soul substance. So it doesn't depend on anything outside. When I consider that, well, my knowledge occurred because of this pen, that means I already got impurity or dependency on this object. That's why they are not beautiful. Third stanza says that everything in their own sphere, they are beautiful. But when I say, okay, you know what, Ankit has a question and I try to answer and I answered and he understood. That means I take the credit that his understanding occurred because of me. That's an impurity. Whether Ankit understands or not, it all depends on his own soul's capacity. My capacity is whatever I know, I speak. That's all it is. So those are two different entities as long as I understand independence of each and every substance. Samaysar draws the importance to independence of all the substance. That's why in the third stanza it says, just visualize every substance to be independent. So that's what third stanza says. And over here it says, when I depend on somebody else for my knowledge, then it's dependency, and that is impurity. And that means impurity means I will not get a purity in that situation.
Kirit, uncle?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi. Wow, this is really clear, and I think you're doing amazing. Can you go back to the previous slide?
Okay.
I have a comment and then a question.
Yeah.
So my comment is this line that says the money, house, person are knowable objects.
Yeah.
So in one sense, maybe you're just establishing them as nimitz, but gnay and suk are the only things that are like parma gnan nathi ne suk nathi and swama gnan che ne suk che. So from that point of view, those are not knowable objects, I think, right?
You are hitting the point. You are going 2 or 3 or 4 slides ahead. What it says right now, that remember each, I think if you remember, go back 2 years and a half, maybe in the beginning when we did the objectivity attribute of a given substance. All the 6 universal substances, they have objectivity attribute. Objectivity attribute means if this pen has an objectivity attribute, that means it can be illuminated in some object, something which has capacity to know. Who has a capacity to know? Soul has a capacity to know. So this has an objectivity attribute, and it will just say, hey, you know what? I'm here. Look at me. I'm here. Look at me. So it announces its presence. And that's why it's called object. It's a knowable object. Knowable means because that has an attribute of somebody's knowledge to know about it. So that's why it's called gnay or knowable object. Now, knowable object doesn't mean that if somebody has to know it, but soul's knowledge has an extraordinary capacity of knowing self and knowing the alien objects also. So that's why they are called knowable objects. But when we go detailing about next 2 or 3 or 4 slides, then it will make it clear that even knowable object will not be known in the knowledge mode. So we will go through that. Right now, we just have to say this object has a capacity to be illuminated in a substance who has a capacity to know.
Okay.
Next.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
And then the next slide, my question is this. So you in the next, can you go to the next slide? Here, can we just, for further clarification, if it doesn't take us too far, talk about Kevali Bhagwan. So Kevali Bhagwan, he can see the gnay, the pen, but he can see it at the same time in his Gnan Pariyay, all of the pen's modifications from the past, present, and future. So what's going on? So he is not dependent at all on the presence of the object as the pen.
Yeah.
So what's going on there? So
what's going on there? Basically, what happens that Kevali Bhagwan's omniscient Lord's knowledge mode is absolutely purified. It's absolutely, just think about a mirror which is absolutely perfectly clean. Then whole world will be reflected in that mirror. Means whatever is in front of the mirror, it will be reflected in that mirror. Same way, in the omniscient Lord's knowledge mode, it is so much purity that this pain's past, present, future will be illuminated in that one. My knowledge mode is clouded right now. So that's why I may not be able to see past, present, future of this pen. I can just see only present right now. I may not be able to know what happens in future. I may not be able to know what was his past. I just may have knowledge about the present, and that too of a limited objects only. But Kevali Bhagwan's knowledge mode is so sharpened that it's so clean, perfect, that everything gets illuminated there. And
so in a way, that's a proof of this third box, that the object is not causing the knowledge mode is not related, because the purity of his knowledge is so great that whatever object, it doesn't matter what's in front, he can already see everything.
And again, this is one principle we are going to understand first, and then Acharya Bhagwan is going to pull us even deeper and say, you know what, forget it, this principle also. So right now, I just understand these principles. And then in the next 2 or 3 or 4 slides, he takes us even further deeper into it, that what is happening. Yes.
So you said something 2 or 3 or 4 questions ago. I just want to confirm that you said what I thought you said. Yeah. Did you say that the soul knows only the Gnayakar and doesn't really know the Gnay?
Yes, it's like soul knows the Gnayakar, does not know the object. Yes. Soul knows the illumination of the object. Soul does not know. See, this pen is exactly reflected or illuminated in the knowledge mode, and so knowledge mode knows that reflection, that illumination, which is called Gnanakar, shape of the knowledge mode. Remember, one second. What did the knowledge mode end up knowing? Knowledge mode end up knowing the reflection occurring in its own mode. What did mirror know? Mirror ended knowing whatever is reflected in the mirror itself. Mirror just says, I don't know this one, but I know its reflection. I know its illumination within me. So, object remains object. Object becomes secondary thereafter, way secondary, as long as the illumination occurs in the knowledge mode. The knowledge mode says, you know what? My origin comes from the all-knower soul substance. So my dependency is on the all-knowing soul substance only.
Just to put it in a few simplified words, forgive me if this is an oversimplification. Swa knows swa. Correct?
I'm sorry?
Swa knows swa.
Swan, that is coming at the end of this stanza 6. That will, when we are just making everything in a nutshell, Swa will know Swa only, self will know self only. Yes. Self will know self only, because self mirror knows its own illumination. That's all. Mirror doesn't say that I know this one. I simply know whatever is illuminated within me. So this is very, very delicate point, and I'm glad the questions are coming, because we don't want to just pass through and just say, oh, yeah, somebody talks about it and we listen to that and that's it. No, it has to enter in our mind absolutely properly, that what Acharya Bhagavan wants us to know about it. Right? Can we go next slide?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So now, principle to be learned, and then going somewhat deeper now. Okay, so now Acharya Bhagavan says, okay, your feet are wet, so I'm going to pull you in the deeper water right now. What does he say right now? Now, inclusion of attachment occurs to the ignorant as well as enlightened ones. Inclination of, remember, we said several slides back that knowable object means house, money, family, my body, material karma, all those things are separate, but my inclination of attachment and aversion, they are also knowable object. So now we are into the soul right now. We have entered into territory of the soul. And now soul says, you know what? I'm the pure, and I have no relationship with anybody else. But then what is this influence of attachment? It's useless for me. Why it's useless? Same thing. Last week we said, there is an abscess on my hand right now. Where does the abscess occur? In me. On my body. It did not occur to Chirag, did not occur to Ankit, it did not occur to Kathy, it occurred to me, Kirit, it happened to me. So it is mine. But it is it shows that it's a kind of impurity from my body. It reflects the impurity of my body. Is this abscess to be kept with me? I have my head, eyes, ear, nose, hands, legs, all those organs are there. They are mine. I would like to keep it with. But this abscess occurring within me, do I want to keep it with me? No, it is outside. Throw it out, Even though it is within me, needs to be discarded. Even though inclusion of attachment occurs within me, it is to be discarded. And that's why inclusion of attachment is known as knowable object. Number one, why it's called knowable object? Inclusion of attachment occurs in me, occurs in the soul, me, when I direct my attention to outside material object. My phone is not with me right now, and I'm upside down. Where is it? I'm really nervous about it. My soul is with my phone is with me all the time. I'm happy about it. This is kind of a conventional example we are taking. So over here, what we are saying, increase of attachment occurred because I paid attention to the object. This is my pen, nobody should touch it. So I put mineness on this pen. I put my ownership on this phone. I put ownership on this cube. I put ownership on this book. So my ownership occurred because I put my attention to them. I put my attention to the book. That's why book is mine. I attention to the phone. That's why phone is mine. And things. So increase of attachment occurs because of me putting the attention to alien objects. So, Siddha Bhagwan, for example.
Kirit uncle, I have a question.
Go ahead.
It's in the same type of line that Ankit asked earlier. So in here it says, enlightened one also has inclination of attachment.
Yes.
I would think an enlightenment wouldn't have it, but you're saying it's part of me.
Yes.
So a Kevli Bhagwan, even though it happens, ignores it and becomes a witness. Is that what you're saying?
No.
No? Okay.
Kevli Bhagwan, they are two separate things, remember. Enlightened one is a fourth spiritual developmental stage. Kevli Bhagwan is 13 spiritual stage and Siddha Bhagwan is 14 spiritual. So 13 and 14 spiritual stage is an omniscient Lord. But enlightened one means the person with the Samyak Darshan. So does Samyak Darshan Jeev, does he not eat? Does he not say that I like this one? Does he not become anxious or having anxiety sometimes? Yeah, he has all the things, but he doesn't have ownership with that. I have the ownership because this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, that's it. Enlightened one will say, yeah, I have interest in that, but it is my weakness. I should not have to have this kind of a feeling, but I have it. So when we come to that spiritual development stage, it will tell us. Remember, yeah, there is a slide coming later on. It will be, I think, I don't think we can have the slide.
It's okay. It's okay. Now I understand. So I don't want to interrupt more.
Okay, all right. So increase of attachment as an object, and why is object? Because it is occurring when my attention is drawn to the alien object. So because it is occurring as a result of attention drawn to the alien object, that's why it's called alien object. Increase of attachment. Number two, increase of attachment does not have knowing capacity. It does not have knowing, and soul has a knowing capacity. So soul is over here with a knowing capacity. Inclusive of attachment does not have that knowing capacity. So that's why it is called matter particle from this regard. So over here, inclusive attachment as an object, ignorant soul also ends up, I'm the ignorant soul, this is mine, this is mine. Or enlightenment will also say, this is my phone. Both are saying the same thing, but I have the ownership on these things. The enlightened soul says, it's his weakness that he has this inclusive attachment. He has a weakness. He knows he's not supposed to do it, but he ends up doing it. My thing, I take the ownership. For example, you know, somebody pull my legs out. Or let's say I made a phone call today and there was some dispute occurred, everything, and I become angry. And somebody said, why are you angry? Well, those people are stupid. They are dumb. They have no idea at all what they're talking. And I blame everything to them. But hey, so why can't I say the responsibility that, hey, you know what? I become angry because of my own problem. Enlightened one also will become angry. But when he is angry, enlightened means Samyak Darshan Jeev. Samyak Darshan Jeev will also, but he will say, inside he'll say, you know what? This is not my nature. Why am I doing it? I'm not supposed to do it. So he is having pains while he is doing that ego, anger, deceit, ego, greed. While ignorant soul takes the ownership and says, I had to do that. I had to become angry. I had to have ego, all kind of thing. So influence of attachment occurs to both the souls, both the types of souls. That means over here, inclusive attachment is called knowable object, as we discussed just now. Why they are knowable object? Why they are gnei? Why they are matter particle? Because they don't have brain, they don't have knowing capacity, and they are generated because of attention drawn to the alien object. That's why it is also called alien object or knowable object, inclusive attachment. Now, characteristic of knowledge of this object. Now, see, now hang on tight for next 10 minutes. The characteristic knowledge in the knowledge mode of this object, which object? Inclusive attachment, occurs in the knowledge mode. Knowledge mode says, you know what, I'm illuminating all the universal object. So inclusive attachment, you are also object. So I'm going to reflect you in my knowledge. I'm going to illuminate in my knowledge. And when that thing is occurring, that means this knowledge of the inclusive attachment is called gneyakar. Gneyakar definition we wrote down over here. Gneyakar means characteristic knowledge of an object. An object is very important word over here. So here we are saying in the knowledge mode, characteristic knowledge mode showed the object, which is the inclusive attachment. Now you forget about the house, money, car, family, my physical body, and material car. Those things are, they are really away. We are going to the real nitty-gritty thing is inclusive attachment, rag. So rag becomes knowable object for this knowing mode. So this is the rag. Now see, we are separating it out, but it is occurring within me, but still we just separated it out and they say this is rag, you are over here, your object, and I as a knowledge mode illuminates you in my knowledge mode. Now, exact nature of the inclusive attachment, which is an alien object, is illuminated in the knowledge mode. This the inclusive attachment, which is knowable object, which is alien object as we define, that exact nature is getting illuminated in knowledge mode. રાગ જેવું જ્ઞેયાકાર જ્ઞાનની પર્યાયમાં થાય છે. Inclusive attachment is object and exact shape is occurring in the knowledge mode. Now, example, what happens? Inclusive attachment is an alien object and it's getting reflected in the knowledge mode. And so exact nature of the object illuminating in the knowledge mode is there, and that's why it's called gneyakar. Whatever is the inclusive attachment over here, same thing gets reflected, illuminated in the knowledge mode, and that's why it's called gneyakar. The shape occurring in the knowledge mode is known as gneyakar, means exact nature of object illuminating in the knowledge mode. Word gneyakar, it is difficult to define those words, but then it will take a whole sentence practically like this, but we just have to say this is gney and gney akar. Akar means shape. This is an alien object, knowable object, and it's an exact illumination of the knowable object occurring in the knowledge mode. So inclusive attachment is over here outside and knowledge mode is over here. So the two are separate. We did the Ved Gnan, we did discriminative science, we did we said that, you know what, I would like to separate them out, even though they both appear to be same. I am becoming angry. I have the ego. I have inclination of attachment, I have inclination of aversion. All those things I have. It is occurring so quick, so fast, it appears to be occurring at the moment's notice, but they are two separate things. Now here we are separating them out. Whenever I'm going to begin anger, then later on I sit down and say, wait a second, let me analyze. What was it? Anger was an inclination of attachment form of an object, and I am the knowing mode, and so knowing mode showed the illumination of the inclination of attachment within me. That's all. So that's where I separate out the anger, or the anger, deceit, ego, greed, or inclination of attachment and aversion. Whatever way you say, it's the same thing. So now we are still in this slide. We are talking knowledge mode as gneyaka, means gney is present and its shape is done over here. That's why we call it gneyaka. So right now we give importance to the gney because you are present, inclusive of attachment, you are present, and so that's why I end up knowing. So this knowledge mode having the shape of the inclusive of attachment is called gneyaka from the consideration of the inclusive of attachment. I think next slide comes in. Let me just jump to this first slide. Yeah. So knowledge mode eliminating inclusive of attachment, right? Now, if I see from the mode's perspective, now if I see this one from the object's perspective, remember, this is the object, this is getting illuminated here. This is the object, is getting illuminated here. Now, this illumination, if I'm looking from the object's perspective, that is called gneyakar. But the same illumination, if I look from the mode's perspective, soul's perspective, then it's called gnanakar. Gnanakar means shape of the knowledge only. Gneyakar means shape of the knowledge according to the object. See, this is very, very microscopic point we have to understand. If not,
Okay, Kirit uncle,
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I didn't understand that.
it means, you know what? Okay, Preeti is a mother. What's her son's name?
Nikhil.
Preeti is the
Swadhay.
mother of Nikhil. Preeti is Nikhil's mother. So Nikhil's perspective, Preeti is a mother. But Shushila's perspective, Preeti is a daughter. So is Preeti daughter or mother? Well, if I look Preeti from son's perspective, then she's mother. If I look from her mother's perspective, then she's a daughter. Same thing, Preeti is over here. Knowledge mode is there. Illumination is there. But now, which perspective I'm looking at this illumination? When I'm looking from...
So, but you're saying blue is the Atma.
Yeah.
The green is the object outside. Then what is the red?
No. Knowledge mode has illumination occurred. So whatever illumination occurred, it occurred over here. Let me just take something here, pen and red. Okay. So see, there is some illumination occurred in this area, right?
Right.
Now, this illumination, if I'm looking from Gney perspective, if I'm looking from object's perspective, then this red circle is called Gneyakar.
Okay.
When
That much I got. That's the easy one.
And when I'm looking from soul's perspective, then same circle is called Gnanakar. Preeti is called mother from this perspective, called daughter from this perspective. So what perspective you are using over here? Are you using the object's perspective or are you using the soul's perspective?
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay,
The soul's perspective is called Gnanakar, but when I take the object into consideration, then it's called Gneyakar. So now, in this situation, if I say inclusive attachment occurred within me as a gneyakar. That means I'm giving importance to the inclusion of attachment. But inclusion of attachment got reflected in the knowledge mode because of knowledge mode's inherent characteristics. This is called gnanakar. So those are the important thing we have to exact same thing is there. It just what way I'm looking at it. The perspective is an important thing in 6th stanza. What is my perspective? I'm angry because of you or because of me? Well, if I take responsibility, then because I became angry because of me. But wait a second, you pulled my leg, so that's why I had to become angry. So yeah, then I give importance to the person who pulled my leg. So those are the understanding we have to have it. That what is gnanaka, what is gneyaka, it's the same thing. What different as if we look from the object perspective, it's a gneyaka. If you are looking from the subject's perspective, our soul's perspective, or knowledge mode's perspective, this is called gnanaka. Does it make sense?
Okay. Yeah, a lot better. Thank you.
Okay. I think we are almost there. Let me just go through previous slide and quickly finish up. I think probably it says the same thing. Knowledge mode illuminating in the exact nature of alien object means influence of attachments occurred independent in the knowledge mode and not due to influence of attachment present as an object. What is it? This is a process of gnanakar. They are saying what happened? Knowledge mode's illumination occurred because of this inherent capacity of the knowledge mode itself and not due to influence of attachment present as an object outside. So that is called gnanakar. This knowledge, the knowledge mode, therefore does not have impurity in the object that it is illuminating. So over here, when I'm looking this knowledge mode from this perspective, then this is pure things. But when I take into consideration of this guy, then it becomes impurity. So when I say to this knowledge mode's illumination as gnanakar, that means it's a purity's perspective I'm talking. And when I'm talking from gneyakar, that means I'm talking from object's perspective, means dependency on the object, means it's an impurity. So now, Ankit, your answer comes over here. When I'm looking object knowledge mode from my own perspective, then this is beautiful. But when I throw the gneyakar perspective, then it becomes impurity and it is not beautiful. So things are same, but what angle I'm looking at that one? What is my perception? Glass is half full or half empty. Glass doesn't change. It's my perception change. So this is a half full, half empty glass. If I look at this perspective, glass is half full. I look at this perspective, glass is half empty. So that's what it is. A friend of mine, my colleague in New York, and I said several times this one before, his name is Dr. Shafi, and we meet him in the morning. And I said, Dr. Shafi, good morning. How are you? And he'll say, not bad. Wait a second. First thing in the morning, you start with not bad. What's going to happen as the day progresses? Why can't you perspective that, hey, it's beautiful. I'm feeling good. So that's what we have to have. Perspective, perspective, perspective. Both the things that came word over here. Perspective from soul's perspective. Perspective from object's perspective. So knowledge mode, what angle am I looking at it? That's a crux of the things that we have to talk here. Any questions so far? This is really, we went through.
Yeah, Kirit uncle, on the previous slide, could you read the Gujarati translation just once? No. Yeah, there. For the first box.
પર્યાય અહીં રાગ જેવી થાય તે રાગને લીધે થઈ એમ નથી. જ્ઞાનની પર્યાય અહીં રાગ જેવી થઈ એ પોતાથી પરિણમન થયેલી છે. જો રાગની પર્યાય તો થઈ ને, રાગ જેવી પર્યાય થઈ ને જ્ઞાનની પર્યાયમાં. જ્ઞાનની પર્યાયમાં આ જેવો રાગ છે એવું રૂપ અહીંયા દાખલ થયું ને. Okay, let's take the example of the dog. The dog, he is sucking the bone, and this bone is sharp, and so the bone is hurting his palate. When he's hurting the palate, when he's sucking the bone, palate is hurt, and so the blood comes out of the palate. Now the dog starts experiencing the taste of the blood, which is quote unquote sweet blood, sweet taste. And what does the dog think? Dog thinks that blood, the taste, sweet taste he's getting is coming from the bone that he's sucking on it. In fact, he's getting his taste of his own blood right now. But his perspective is on the alien object. So, perception, I mean, the experience of the blood's taste is there. He's tasting the blood. But what he feels erroneously, that is coming from the bones. In fact, it's coming from himself. Same way, here, when the influence of attachment occurs within me, I said, that's my own nature, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. But in fact, that is not mine. It's an alien object. My knowledge mode simply reflected that influence of attachment in my knowledge mode. This make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what we have so far. So we will just continue. Now, next week, Sunday, I'm going to go to India for 10 weeks. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to have internet available. So we'll continue class. Somewhere, if I get stuck that there is no good internet, I will send the email. But otherwise, we'll try to continue same thing. Okay? All right. Any questions so far?
No.
Have a good trip.
Okay, all right. It's going to be fun. It will, I had to recharge myself, and there are going to be so many learned people that I'm going to meet, and it's going to be lots of. I'll be new, improved guy when I come back.
Good, great. Are you going to Summit Sikar too?
Yeah, I'll be going to Summit Sikar too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Just the trip.
Bye-bye.